Wow, what a great welcome. And welcome to my little talk. And I want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank the organizers, everybody. Hope it's going well for you today. O genki desu ka? Today, I want to talk, I have a very non-technical talk. I'd like to talk about apps as art. So you can take a deep breath. This will be fun and relaxing, hopefully. So my name is Sebastiaan. I go by @SDW on the internet in a lot of places, and I am a Dutch guy living in California. I actually live really close to Apple's headquarters, 45 minutes away, but I actually live in the woods, like in the forest. There's no cell phone service there. The power comes from the sun. It's a wonderful place to live. And I'm here with my friend and partner Ben, and we are mostly known for the 4 apps we have on the App Store. Actually, mostly known for 2 of those. Especially our camera apps that we're known for, the still photography app Halide, our video app Kino. But I mostly want to talk about Halide today. In 2022, something really cool happened with Halide, something I had actually dreamt of for all my career as a designer. We were very lucky to win one of these. This is the Apple Design Award. And thank you so much. It was my dream as a designer. The Apple Design Award was here before the iPhone. So as I grew up, I always thought it was something very special. Before I want to talk about what you can do to make an app that is considered for a design award, I want to talk about design awards. Why does Apple have a design award? To understand that, we have to actually look back at what makes Apple the company it is. And it started making computers in a different way. With the first Macintosh, most computers just had a font, right? It's good enough, you can read text. But the Mac came with all these beautiful typefaces. The interface was made with art, with whimsy, with humor, with care. In a way, it was really the human interface, right? It was an attempt to make technology more human. And when it's more human, we sense the humanity of those that designed it. This was a long time ago, but we're still working on the platform from that company. That DNA is still there. The Design Award showcases much more than good design, in a sense that it's more than just something that looks good. Design is this really special thing. It's where art meets purpose. Design is creativity shaped to solve a problem or make solutions. Now, not all apps are art, and not all art are apps, but apps are one of the coolest forms of art because they give people superpowers. Apps can let people experience things they might never be able to experience themselves. Apps can let you travel through time. Apps can let blind people see. This great app called Be My Eyes lets people be a stand-in for the eyes for people that can't see, truly giving them a superpower to themselves, something they couldn't have possibly ever imagined. Sometimes apps are just beautiful things to appreciate, to bring peace to your life. And sometimes apps can give people time back, can help you get things done. And I pick these examples of apps because I think these apps resonate. That's what makes them so special. And if you don't really know what I mean when I say resonate, does anyone know what these are? They're called cymatics. And it's a sort of pattern that a unique sound wave can produce. You can recreate it with a plate and sand. And the point is, beautiful patterns created by a unique sound. Something beautiful happening that's beautiful to different people. Maybe some people prefer one pattern, maybe another. But the point is, all the apps I showed you do something unique and make something beautiful happen. People connect with them on a way that's more than just the way they think. It connects emotionally. It connects with people in the way they feel. So let's talk about creating an app that resonates. And to start with that, I want to talk about a time when I spent working at Apple, actually. I worked at Apple's campus. This was the campus back then. It was before the big round spaceship. And I worked in the building called VG6 up there. It's right there. It's opposite iTunes. Cool. Not so glamorous, not on the main campus. There's a really bad photo of it. And we were working on a cool new project as part of iCloud. It was called Find My Family. Are you thinking, I've never heard of a family finder from Apple? That's true. We actually renamed it to Find My Friends, but there's someone at Apple that really cared about this app. And it's because he didn't like it. He thought it had a lot of problems. It offered a solution. You could find your friends on a map and see where they were if they were far away, but he thought it was kind of creepy, and he wanted us to make the design different, approachable, beautiful, to disarm that creepiness a bit. So I put sweat into this. Me and two of my colleagues made some of the best work I've ever made. We worked so hard to make these beautiful designs because I knew that this was life or death for the app. And this is what my design process looked like, and maybe you're familiar with this process of design. You start with a spec. In this case, here's an app. It lets you find your friends where they are on a map. You make a design. You get feedback. Maybe people say, that's great, let's go. Maybe it's like, oh, maybe we can change a few things. The thing is, my boss was a difficult client. My boss was the boss of the company. His name was Steve Jobs, and he was a very tough client. Steve reviewed my designs, and he came back with some feedback. No. It wasn't just, oh, you changed it. I wasn't used to this feedback. My feedback was, hey, Sebastiaan, nice job. Very well done. Can we, no, it was just no. Sometimes he wasn't so nice. Sometimes he just said, that sucks. I was like, oh, okay. We have to start over. And that was really hard for me, because I put all this work into it. I thought it was a piece of me. I made my nicest design ever. How could he just say no? But it taught me this really important lesson. It became a really important lesson to me. And I only saw how big this lesson was when I saw that Steve was right. It kept getting better every time he said no. I kept making new designs, and I realized that the lessons I had learned making it, I kept forever. I thought I'm throwing something away, all that work I did for nothing. You haven't lost your work. You've learned the lessons, and that was the important part. It always gets better. Embrace trying new things, even if it means starting over. Never lose the lessons you learned. And someone once gave me a really good example of this. What it also helps is creativity. Imagine if someone tells you, make a drawing of a bear. Now, maybe you're good, you're bad at drawing things. I'm not so super great at drawing things. But at first you can draw kind of a bear. And then you say, okay, make another drawing, make it look different. And another one. At some point it gets really hard to imagine a different way to draw a bear. And that's kind of a threshold of creativity. That's kind of where you're like, oh, I have to really think to come up with something original. Sometimes that's good. Now, for this app, we went through a lot of bears. There were a lot of interfaces. We tried everything. I made this app look like a golden compass. I made it look like a treasure map, like a wayfinding, like signage. One was family portraits, like on a wall. It's like a wallpaper, and there was parts of the family. Steve said no to all of them. And then one day, it's me, at Valley Green 6. Actually, I wasn't in the office at that day. He came in with a piece of leather, and he said, here's it, make it look like that. Why did he do that? This is what it ended up looking like. And the answer is, well, actually, I want to look back. Why did he do that while they were doing all this other stuff? We had new iPods. This is a while ago, iPods. New iPods, new iPads, Apple Maps, Siri, iPhone 5S. This was all stuff that was being worked on. Why did Steve come into our office to talk about this friend-finding app? It's because he cared. He cared deeply about every part of what the company was doing, and he really wanted this to work out. And it sounds strange, but if you want to be different or better than most apps out there, that's really what you have to do. You have to care about things. And it doesn't mean that you have to learn to make leather in Photoshop. If you do want a lesson, see me at office hours afterwards, I'm happy to help. But you can pour your unique care into your app. Let's say you love animation and watching animation. That care you have, you can focus into putting the most incredible animation work and fine-tuned animations into your app. Maybe instead you are relentless in optimization and you love the challenge of getting things as responsive and as quick and well optimized as possible. Maybe you have elderly relatives and you really care about accessibility so they can use your app and they can use more technology and empower themselves. This lets your app resonate with all those people, the same people that appreciate the unique things that you appreciate. It's what makes your interface human. Speaking of things that resonate, inspiration is an incredible thing. Things resonate with you. And it doesn't mean just apps. Like Of course, that's amazing, but there's video games, different kinds, there's hardware, there's movies, there's paintings, there's music. This inspiration is one of the most incredible things for you to tap into. Maybe you like just going into nature and riding a motorcycle in the desert. Maybe you just love pastries. All these things have craft and passion and things that can resonate with you. One of my favorite examples of this in apps is Andy Allen, who makes not boring apps, and just one day was busy with software and thought, hey, video games inspire me so much. What if I take this apart? What if I look at what makes video games so special? Can I bring those things into games? Can I think about what aspects of that, if I really dig in and take them apart, make them so amazing? When I first started making icons and UI, this is what the Mac looked like. And I was just obsessed with how these icons looked. And I wanted to know, like, how does that work? So what did I do? I just tried drawing them. I made copies of these icons. I made different drawings based on these icons. And that's the way you can get into it. If you love a particular interaction, study it and try to recreate it. I'm not saying you have to copy an existing app and ship it, but every master got to mastery by making master copies, by doing the practice, by embodying and taking things apart that they love and feel passionate about. It's how you can speak the language of excellence. You have to learn that language by practicing it. And you know what? I bet you're going to have a lot of fun doing that too. That's kind of the point of it all. I think being motivated to do the thing you do, finding your unique things you care about, it is the driving force that can help you excel in your design. These kind of things, great projects, they come from passion, like truly wonderful things. Oh, sorry. I think I'm gonna have to take this.
Hey, I know what you're thinking. This is a little strange, but it's me. Well, it's you too.
Right.
It's us. It's 2030 here where I am, but there's a space-time. In the future, you can FaceTime someone in the past. It's pretty cool. I can't really explain it right now.
Wait, what? You're calling me from the future?
Okay, well, you must be wondering why I'm calling, right? So you're doing this talk right now, and I just realized that I feel like I forgot something that I really think is really important to mention, so you should definitely mention it.
You called me from the future to tell me that I'm missing a part of my talk? What, what?
Yeah, you did. So what I wanted to say is, okay, I was looking back at all these talks, right? I was looking at the design work I do now in 2030, 5 years later, and the talks I do right now, and I'm really proud of where I am now. I'm happy. There's still a lot I still have to learn, but I was looking at my talk, your talk that you're doing right now from 5 years ago, and I thought, wow, I actually have come a long way. There's a lot of work I've done in all that time, and it doesn't all happen at once. It's because of having a habit. It's because I kept working a little bit at it, and I think that's pretty good for you to mention that.
Okay, yeah, I think I'll do that. Nice, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Wait, but before you go,
I really got it.
No, but before you go, what is iOS like in 5 years? Like, what are the cool features? Can I see it?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, I can't show you what it looks like.
Oh, come on.
I think that violates a few, that it wouldn't work out well. But I can show you something really cool. One of the things I use all the time is how dark mode now actually turns down the lights around you.
Whoa!
Not just like the interface. Here.
Dang, okay. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, nice, thanks.
Pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, bye.
Yeah, see, I got to get back to this talk. I got to
bye.
Yeah, right. Okay. So, as that guy, as I was saying, I guess, is the important thing here. The important thing, too, is to remember that things take time and that you spend time. Like, learning how to play a guitar, which I've tried a few times, it takes consistent practice, playing a bit every day. Learning to draw well takes some time drawing every day. Starting a habit is the best way to do it. Make small bits of progress. It's really tempting to try to tackle the marathon. Your first project has to be amazing. That's running the marathon. Instead, people get ready for marathons by running a bit every day, and you can get better. You can capture the magic that way. One of my favorite magicians Pendulette's definition of his magic trick was that sometimes magic is just taking so much time to prepare for a trick that everybody thinks it couldn't possibly do all that. Like knowing an entire deck of cards, learning every card in the deck. That's magic. And that's really quick why I don't want to be an anti-AI guy, because I'm not. But there is a part of AI that can steal from you. It can rob you of the process, the creative process. AI can jump to the end, give you the finished result. And it skips this incredible creative process and imperfect work. The magic in learning something is going through this landscape of imperfection and recognizing it, getting to know the landscape so you can walk that path to imperfection to what becomes great. So really quick, I want to get into how we applied all this with Halide. And I always loved this particular aesthetic, right? Like you have these really glossy icons, and hey, maybe this year we'll go back to that. But it was glossy for a reason. It wasn't just, oh, it looks cool. Yeah, it looks cool, but phones, okay, they didn't look quite like this before the iPhone, but kind of. Phones had buttons, right? And these new phones, especially the iPhone, it was literally just a piece of glass. These were flat pieces of glass. We did a lot to try to make them feel more like the old phones, and by making them look very pushable, pressable. It made it, and remember how, maybe you don't, maybe you got on board before this, but things really responded to touch well. When me and Ben started working on Halide, we felt like cameras lost some of that transition when they came to the iPhone. Because cameras are really nice to use. They're very tactile. So here's our beautiful first interface for Halide. Please do not copy it. It was a passion project, something me and Ben made for fun. And one of the things we loved doing and were so inspired by were these old cameras. Old cameras are amazing. My daughter here is playing with one of my cameras just because it's fun. They're tactile. Even a young child loves these things. How can we bring this to a phone? So for inspiration, I looked at how does the experience of camera start? You take a box, you open it, you read the booklet that it comes with. This is an old booklet from the Polaroid. We can do that. We can bring a little booklet to the first time you use the app, a little manual. Look at the lens, the beauty of the typography that's etched into the metal of the barrel of the lens. I worked with my friend from art school to make a typeface that looks just like that, put it in the app. But then we noticed there was something different about the way you use the camera. The tapping, it felt unpredictable. There's this very unique quality about a camera where your fingers can predict where things are going to be. And what that does is when you go to take a photo, even if you know, or maybe you don't know, where your head is at, your fingers will know how to operate it. Your fingers can learn. It becomes muscle memory. Turn this way for a lighter or darker image. Turn this way for focus. Why don't we do that with the camera? So you swipe up and down to make the image lighter or darker. And swipe left and right for focus. And always have those things be in the same place so people know where they are. I felt like things weren't responding to touch the way a nice button on the camera touches in. So we made custom push states. And as we went through, things I realized were more complicated than Apple's camera. And it makes you think, oh, isn't that bad? Shouldn't an app be simple, a good designed app? No, complexity is not your enemy. We've all had to learn something the first time. Great software doesn't oversimplify, it just helps people learn. You have to learn how to ride a bike at some point. Remember, you can have fun with onboarding. Don't think that good design means making something too simple. Anyway, after all that, we were working, took our time. It was a passion project after all. After a year, me and Ben launched the app, and we'd hoped that it would resonate with a few people. And we're super happy to see that it did. People really liked it. And there were also a lot of things that people didn't like. For instance, I was single when I made the app, so I thought everything should be like Tinder. So if you had a photo, you liked the photo or not, you could swipe. Swipe the photo, so it's good or bad. If you swipe photos, most people want to go to the other photo. They don't want to swipe on it like Tinder. Didn't work. Bad idea. Start over. And then Apple came out with a new iPhone, the iPhone 10. And this was a whole different phone, so we had to make a new interface. We had to redesign the app, and it was hard. I had to throw a lot of my work out. I thought, maybe we can make it work. Maybe we can... No, we couldn't, because they weren't just bigger. The phone is taller. So you couldn't reach the buttons, so we designed it and redesigned it so everything was under your thumb. And we kept going. We kept changing things. We kept improving and slowly taking our time to take the feedback to make it better. And it's been 8 years of that now. And this year we'll get to do it all over again. We're going to make a new update, and we're going to do a pretty big redesign. And it's scary. The world's a different place now. I'm different. The world's different. iPhones are different. Cameras are different. It's like starting a new app. We'll have to remember that we can embrace new things, even if it means starting over and taking away things I really like, because it gets better. We have to remember to care about our users, put care into everything we do. Take in the inspiration of everything that's happened in those 8 years. There's so much beautiful new software and wonderful things that have happened. Keep having fun with it. And when these things are not fun anymore, maybe take a break every now and then. And look back at all the time we took and take our time building it so it's thoughtful and good. Things are hard. Our work is hard. We have so many options in software, and there's so much noise. But I wanted to share that with you, my most meaningful lessons. Because I believe that with those things in mind, you can be more than developing software. You're an artist, too. You can make something that resonates. Thank you so much.